What it do, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy D the Barber, aka Cuts Unlimited. We are back with another one. We have a special one today. I'm gonna let this beautiful lady introduce herself, but we already know who it is. I'm sitting in the corner because it's not about me. Okay. To my left,
King, Royal King Cuts LLC, Royal King Cuts Studio.
and to my far left,
Sonia Holmes, and I am a realtor for Wazell Properties and also a registered nurse.
Okay, Mrs. What y'all was calling Miss Titi, right?
Mama Tisby.
Mama Tisby. I'm sorry, I said Titi. I apologize.
That's okay.
Mama Tisby. All right. So first things first, like always, word on the street. I'm gonna let you whatever you got today, because I really don't have nothing. Because my man's was really supposed to be hosting, but he tried to weasel his way out.
I did.
I know
Because
it.
we had all the barbers here.
Yeah.
And y'all really could have ran it.
No, because I wanted you to host, bro. He tried to weasel his way out of it, and he did. But it's all good. Mom, what you got for word on the street today?
We have several different topics that we really need to address in the minority community and household, I would say. But some of it is just kind of controversial that is between a man and a woman. Never about the ethnicities, but just a man and a woman. First and foremost, we also have to hold each other accountable so that we can be a better community and learn how to survive what is going to be coming forward toward us as far as hard times with the economy and things like that. So we need to learn how to pull each other up and learn how to barter within our communities and stop holding on to trauma teachings that we had as we were growing up about, don't let nobody know you doing bad or what's going on in our household stays in our household. But we had a lot of missed opportunities with people who had mental illness that was going through things, something that we won't talk about as the African American community because it is taboo to talk about anything that concerns health, life insurance, any type of planning. We will we're just defeating getting forward in this life and as a whole. When I say that, when it concerns other races,
True.
We are behind the mark.
Now, we are behind. Now, would you say that it's our fault that we're behind?
I think it's learned behavior.
At this point, it's our fault.
I would.
It's learned behavior, but when you don't know
but
better.
At this point, I would too say that it is our fault at this point.
But when you don't know better, how do you do better when you have that mindset?
And that was my next question. I heard you say that we need to learn how to be together and barter with each other instead of how would you say we would go by? How would we go and do that? Like what would it take for us to, as a people, to do that?
First and foremost, we have to get out of the mindset of, oh, I'm doing better than them, or I'm better than them. We have to get outside of ego because ego kills everything. So we have to learn how to start to rally within our communities and say, y'all come on out and make people welcome enough to say that if you need anything, here are some resources. We got to learn how to put these resources together as a community, but it also has to start inside the home.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, and I think that is mostly because of our pride, the pride that we are taught as the African American community. And I heard you say something earlier about like mental illness, or what I'm saying. Yes. Like we had a conversation here amongst us men in the barbershop, and we were saying that a man is not allowed to be a victim, right?
That's correct.
Because we had a story, and me being me, I just was asking just the off the wall questions, just to hear the thought process of just the opposite side of the thought process. And from the question I asked, I can kind of tell that it wasn't that way. They wasn't feeling that way. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of made me sit back and think like, I already know we can't be, a man can't be a victim. Or he can be a victim, but he's afraid to be one.
He doesn't have a safe space.
So again, we're afraid to be victims.
Because I was just going to say it's not fair for us.
Again,
Cause
that is definitely a
if
double
I feel
standard.
like a victim, then I'm gonna be a victim.
True, I get that.
Me myself, I can't speak for the next man,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, me personally, I can agree with that. If I feel like a victim, I'm a victim.
yeah,
But on the flip side, our black men don't have a space where they can be vulnerable
True.
without the vulnerability being used against them in an argument later on.
True. Shameless plug. Come to Royal King Cuts 8951 Rufy Street. Safe place. We got you. You can get a haircut too. Go ahead.
So you have to, you know, you got to understand a lot of things that we have going on in our relationships. Again, learned behavior. You witness your mother and father having communication that may have been toxic or ineffective and was not supposed to even been in front of a child, number one.
Honestly, and I'm gonna be really, really honest with you. My moms and my step pops never argued in front of us.
And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Never. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in front of me one time because I was the oldest kid in the house, but they never, from what I can remember, they never argued in front of us.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. Because you don't involve children into adults' information, and situations.
That's how I was taught, though. That come from my grandmother and the adults in the house go outside.
Most this generation, should I say?
Hold on. Are we talking about this generation of parents or children?
Children.
Okay.
Not children. I would have to say young adults.
But
young adults.
Don't we have to blame their parents though?
No, this is where I'm going.
Okay.
Young adults. I am 52. So my children came up where it was you stay in a child's place.
For sure.
Well, the kids that came after them, because my eldest is 33, the kids that came after them,
his kids.
He has little bitty children. Okay. So I guess the 21, 22s around there. What do they call the new Gen X?
The YNs. They call them
the YNs.
YNs.
Okay.
Gen X. Or Gen Alpha, matter of fact, right? Yeah, Gen Alpha. I think it's Gen Alpha.
That's the new.
That's the ones that's like 21 and 22 right now. Yeah, I think that's Gen Alpha. Yeah. Let us know in the comments if I'm right or wrong. Gen Alpha. I know for sure it's not Gen X because that's my brother and them.
Well, we know it's YNs.
We definitely know it's YNs. Go ahead.
They identify as YNs.
They definitely, and that is the craziest thing to identify as, bro. Yeah.
Okay.
Even when I was a YN, we never been like, yeah, I'm a young nigga now. We wasn't doing that. We was not doing that.
It wasn't even popular to be young like that. You want to be with the old school.
Yeah, and I was kind of saying that earlier when we was talking about like middle school. I was just saying like, hey, by the time I left middle school, when I got to high school, I had my older brother had already graduated years and all that before me, so he kind of set in stone who he was and who I was. So when I got to high school, everybody already knew me. I was popular. You know what I'm saying? I
he had paved the way for you.
You know what I'm saying? So these YNs, I don't really think they got.
I don't think they have brain cells sometimes,
because
they don't. You see these young people having children and they have the babies and whatever, and unfortunately, they don't try and separate the adult mess away from the kids. They involve the children and use these babies as a pawn to get to the father, or vice versa. The father is using the baby as a pawn to get to the mother. It's very, very disrespectful. Nobody has any respect or communication skills.
They call it toxic now.
I mean, but toxicity doesn't just stay with the mother and the father. It continues to go down the bloodline. So
It's kind of
You
like
seen that behavior.
yeah.
That's how you're gonna start to um, interact with any type of relationship, whether it be the teacher and yourself at the school, because you don't have no respect for the teacher, because mama talking trash or daddy talking trash at home about the teacher to you.
So
Mhm.
again, this behavior still starts with the parent.
Most definitely,
Okay.
most definitely.
Yeah. Because I know again, my mom is a little bit older than you. You know what I'm saying? But she came up under the old law, and she taught me the old law. You know, and my little sister's 21 and 22, and she came up under the old law, and she acts nothing like these. You know,
Yeah,
she listens to my little sister. Listens to Tony Braxton. That's her favorite
yeah.
artist. Tony Braxton and Bryson Tiller. So she still got the, but she, you know. So
Old
again,
soul.
it's old soul. So again, I like you said, it does start with the home, but it also
It's the
can go to
influence.
the community too, though. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
you said,
Because
it's the influence. Like you said, when you have, I believe it's the, like you said, your sister, you got an older parent,
yeah,
but you know it's different now. You
yeah,
got younger parents, and
yeah,
then you
that's
got
true.
grandmas
That's
that's
true.
35.
That's true.
So you know
Yeah,
it's the shit done changed.
true. That is true.
And
I
like
mean,
you said, you know we got to stop using the kids as pawns
yeah, yeah,
It's sad.
because it's not right.
yeah. It's not. It ain't.
It's not
Especially
fair.
when on the man side, like I don't have kids, we all know that, but on the man side, when a man really trying and he love his kid and you using the kid to have your way, is like crazy. That's and for a man, if most men who they only using the kid to try to get back in the door with the woman, that's kind of wrong too. You know what I'm saying? So what are you teaching the child? So
Hmm.
I definitely agree with you. But then again, you were saying about community. Like when I was a kid, I break something at somebody's house, they whooping my ass. Excuse my language, you
You
too,
can't
but
do
they
that no
whooping
more.
my ass. Yeah,
You can't touch
you
nobody kids
cannot
no
do that
more.
now.
No,
You can't even tell
You
a
can't even
person,
tell them
yeah, to
anything.
sit down. Like the brothers,
Don't be talking to my child like
the
that.
people in here,
Mm.
when they kids come over, they already know, like, you know, we under the old law.
Yeah, we
So
don't
we can
play
be like,
that
hey
shit
bro,
up
go
here.
sit down, chill out, you know,
Yeah.
woo, woo.
Right.
But you can't, like you say, you can't tell nobody child nothing. I didn't see when I was a kid, man, I seen my grandmother smack a child. That and his mama didn't say nothing. We was in a grocery store, little bro was trying to take some candy. My grandmother slapped the shit out that little dude. Boom, put that down. He looked up. You see what? He didn't do nothing. He put it down. He grabbed his mama hand. His mama looked back. She was like, "Oh, hey, Miss Net." You know, they know each other. She was like, and that was it. It was over with. I was like, "Damn, that's crazy." Nowadays, bro,
Yeah, times have changed.
you do that now, bro, you going to jail. You might get shot, especially, you know, all these youngins with the guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, we living in some weak times, man.
Man, I wouldn't even. We living in more depressing times than weak, bro. Because everybody, like you say, we using these excuses and these
Yeah,
this
don't nobody
this.
want to be held accountable.
Yeah, man.
That's why I say weak, because it's a lack of accountability in the generation.
True, true, true. But they learning. I think that
It's
they
few,
learning now
you know,
because they.
it's some of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's because they starting to see what's going on with all of these rappers. You know what I'm saying? And they homeboys for real getting all this time, and you know what I'm saying. So you know,
But
it's
the
slowly but
influence
surely
is,
changing.
but the influence is in the music. It's on social media. You know, it's a lot of stuff that done changed. You know, but like you say, we came up under a different law,
A different
and
law
we
for
ain't
sure,
have
for
all
sure.
this technology shit.
Yeah,
So
for sure, for sure.
You know, I was speaking with my daughter tonight, and I said, I need you to understand what being a parent really means. And when you have children yourself, you'll understand that as a mother, I am supposed to protect you even from me. If I'm not well,
Wait. That was powerful. Because I can guarantee you, not one mother in America has ever said that.
as a mother,
That's I've
I'm supposed to protect my child even from me if I'm not right. If I'm not what I'm supposed to do as a parent.
man. Now maybe they
Period.
again. I've never heard any mama say that, but maybe they will agree with you. Moms, let us know if you agree with that
I
because
mean,
that's powerful for real.
you
For
know,
real.
you
That's
have to know that, hey, I'm sliding on the side of messing up real bad. I need to know, okay, my child, I need to love you more than myself enough to say my child don't deserve that. Because, like I said, I've lived and I've made some jacked up decisions before in my life. And I have 7 sons, so I know I had to be careful of how I made certain decisions in front of them. Now, as they got older, they was like, "Mama, we don't care about that or nothing," But in the same token, my relationship in front of them ultimately molds how they will treat women.
True.
Facts. Facts.
And what you show them or what they want in their woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably why I can't settle, because my mom's is a hustler. She gon', you know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like, if you don't show no ambition, I don't want your money. But if you don't show no ambition towards getting no money, what's the point of me messing with you? Because I'm gonna have to give you everything I got, and I'm not doing that.
The purpose of having a relationship is so that I can make you better and you can make me better, and we push each other on up.
This is true. But this narrative that the internet is pushing is a man is supposed to give up everything.
That's why my son and I was having a debate this morning about what is kind of like what they want in a man, or when they see them. Like he was saying, it was something on the internet was about, doesn't matter about a woman having body count prior to you getting with her. And he was like, as an example, because he's a young man, he doesn't have any children. She got 3 or 4 kids. She wants you to come in. You don't have no kids, but she wants you to come in with 100,000.
Don't do it.
Playing stepdaddy.
Don't do it.
Now, like I told him, if she got 3 different baby daddies,
don't do it.
or whatever, that shouldn't matter if she treats you well and she's pushing to the top with you and trying to get somewhere, it make a difference.
That's different.
But he said, Mama,
they're
not trying. They got 3 baby daddies, 4 baby daddies, 5 baby daddies, and they expect you to come in and be making 100,000, and they don't even have a job. They living on welfare.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
that ain't it. That ain't it.
You got to, first and foremost, you got to pick somebody that's gonna be pushing for you too.
You got to have a plan.
Yeah.
And you got to choose somebody that got a plan.
He's 28.
For both of us.
So he, my thing is, we need to teach not just the young women, but the men too. Okay, I sent a video to King, Pastor Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
He said, a man, he leaves his parents' house when he get grown. He leaves his parents' house and he goes and makes his way. A woman doesn't leave her parents' house.
Not until she gets married. Right?
She doesn't even leave. What she does is transfer ownership. When she walks down the aisle and her daddy is walking her down the aisle, he then passes her off to her husband. And he becomes the leader.
Makes sense.
So she never she doesn't venture out on her own. She just transfers ownership. So
don't say ownership too. You might get us canceled talking about women.
The thing of it is we don't mean like a slave.
Yeah.
We mean like now she's no longer under the rule of her daddy. She's under the rule of her husband for protection. He's supposed to protect and provide. We were never meant to be the one to be the meat at all. We were supposed to be just a helpmeet.
Helpmate, yeah, for sure.
So
they take, but they, they took the father out the house.
That's it.
And then
that ain't got nothing to do with us. That's governmental.
I was just fixing to say, but
where did it start? With relationship, though.
But where did it start? It started with the government. I remember the movie Claudine.
But that's the reason we in the position we in.
There's no fathers in the house, and they have also taught the black women that they are independent and don't need a black man or a man.
Do you know what started that? And it's gonna sound, they probably gonna get us canceled. Fuck it. Feminists, white feminists did that. They used to put in magazines, they put ads out to say that we're this, we're that, we're this, and they sold those magazines to black women. go get a job, go do this, go do. You don't have to depend on a man and woo woo woo.
Well, they was
But at
doing
this-
that anyway with the welfare system.
But this is before welfare though, a little bit before welfare. So with them, no, I'm tripping. Feminist was after welfare, yeah. But they, of course, they did do it with the welfare system. But so the lady who was actually writing these articles was actually a married woman. And she tricked every other woman into being equal, but she was being pampered and taken care of. And that's kind of what started the whole feminist movement and independence and equal pay and all of that. It all my beautiful queens, it all started from liberal white feminist women. So they've been on y'all for a minute. It's a psyop, bro. I just want y'all to know that, and please listen to what I'm saying. It's probably this show is only probably gonna be seen once, so watch it when it come out. But yeah, it's a psyop from what I understand.
I'm gonna tell you a personal experience. I only had one son at the time, and he was less than 2. He was 1, and at the time I was young, had moved back in with my grandmother because there was a problem between my husband and I at the time. We were just young, you know, and my grandmother was all against signing up for any type of assistance, but I snuck down there and got, you know, some assistance anyhow. And I remember the caseworker asking me about how much money did my husband give me for my child. And it wasn't a whole bunch of money back then. It would be like maybe $200 every 2 weeks or so. She told me that she would give me an additional $50 or so. It was like it's small monetary, but it was like $50 or more, you know, a month for me to file against him. At that time, they called it AFDC, not TANF, just to sign him up to put him on child support.
Black lady?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I bet you this was her reaction when you said, oh, $250.
I said,
that's it?
No. What I said to her was, why would I take that when I can ask him for anything and get more? And she couldn't explain it. She said, I just have to ask. So it makes me wonder if they were training them.
That's definitely how they train them. Like you was mentioning Claudine earlier. I've seen that movie, but I don't know if you've seen Claudine. I can't remember exactly what was going on.
Carroll? She was in, was it Diane Carroll? Diana Ross?
It was Diana Ross and my boy, deep voice. Simba. Not Simba, Mufasa. What's Mufasa's real name?
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. He was and she had kids, and he was the stepdad, I think.
He was the boyfriend.
He was the boyfriend.
And
he was about to marry
in her closet.
Yeah, they was gonna get married or something, but he had clothes there, and I think they took her stuff away.
And
right?
the welfare lady showed up, knocked at the door, and she wanted to come in and inspect her closet.
Wow.
And she saw the man's clothes in there. Yeah. So you were purposely dividing us.
Yeah, they purposely pushed us out. And look where we at now. Because of no fathers, my generation of kids, well, not all of us, but because I had a dad. I ain't gonna say I didn't. He was my stepdad, but he was my daddy, and I loved him to death. But because of our generation, most of us didn't have fathers. That led most of us to prison. And those people are still in prison, some of them. And they had kids before they even went to prison. 18, 19 years old, go to prison, got a baby. Now that baby out with no daddy. You know, it's the cycle that continues. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the welfare. I know people 4 generations down that's been on welfare since I was a kid. I was born in 1987.
I just told you, 52. And I have a classmate, and she's still on housing from the time we graduated high school up until now.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Bro, that's
a lot.
And she crippled her children because, prime example, her son was leaving, going off to college. Well, that meant her benefits would be what?
Cut off.
She
told bro he couldn't go to school.
No, she made it seem she guilted him so much, or always made him feel like he was so missed that he came back home
and worked a regular job.
Man,
I don't even know.
Dude, I don't want.
But he came back home.
Dude,
and he had a scholarship.
I was finished. Do she not understand that her the chance that she ever had of getting off of Section 8, she made it come back to the house?
It's sad. It's sad.
It's the mindset. We
The
got to get out that
mindset.
mindset.
The
That
mindset.
poverty mindset.
Yeah.
Unlearn and relearn.
True. But to I know you the question that we was talking about, you said about a woman's body count. Should it matter? Basically. I mean, again, I don't even ask those type of questions. I don't really be tripping.
I don't think that a secure man should.
I don't even ask
He
those type of
wouldn't.
questions. Yeah,
I think that's all about insecurity. That's manipulation.
Yeah, that don't.
And you know what I always say: manipulation is not love, and love is not manipulation. So it's a mind game, I believe, that you're playing.
Yeah, it's definitely a mind game.
Yeah,
because you don't feel good about yourself if you got to ask that.
Yeah, that don't even matter to me.
Yeah, long as my thing, I'm 37 years old. I'm not finna ask no woman because I know I done had plethora. I done had all types.
I mean,
I can't even remember how many. And from I've been being active since I was a teenager. So.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like you don't even really
it's
know.
like long as you seasoned and you know you.
Long as
you healed, like you healed and don't bring all that.
Yeah. Long as you ain't got nothing, man, I ain't tripping.
That right there.
If you're clean, baby, and you take care of yourself and do what you're supposed to do, even if you have children, I ain't tripping. But I'm a person that, again, I come from a community-based upbringing. My great grandfather stayed on the house in one street. My grandfather stayed here. His sister stayed here. His other sister stayed here. His other sister stayed down the street. So my cousins across the street, people. So the people where my mom is actually from, when I would go there in the summer, because as a kid, that's really the only thing I remember is the summertime. When I would go over there as a summer, I couldn't do nothing past pissing outside, bro. Because they own me. They own me, bro. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I did do some things. Me and my boys,
we all do.
Yeah,
but they was on me, kid. On me, like, man, what if any person on Gunpoint Lane, and everybody from my Louisiana folks know this, if anybody on Gunpoint Lane, Pickett Street, tell Arthur Davis Jr. that Darren did something, I'm getting my ass whipped, bro. For shit show, no questions asked, and they gonna tell on me, bro.
That's another issue, right? Nobody ain't getting no whoopings no more. It's not no discipline.
Nah, it's not. And I was
These
just
teenagers
saying,
is fighting their parents.
I was just saying that when I went to school. I went to school in Louisiana for kindergarten and first grade, bro. Fourth grade, they was paddling niggas, bro. I stone cold stunted a nigga in the hallway, and I got paddled, bro. Yeah. For real, they wasn't playing. You know what I'm saying? So I come from
I remember them days.
You know, we come from community love. You know what I'm saying? Like, my grandfather was a gardener. If somebody needed something out of his garden, he'll go get it for him. He ain't tripping. How much you got? I ain't doing no tripping here. It is. My grandfather's had chicken coops, and so
I remember Mr. Jim coming down the alley. That's what my grandmother's street name. It was actually 18th Street, but we called it the alley. And Mr. Jim would come through. He either selling some fruits on the back of his truck or some vegetables.
Was it a blue truck?
No, we was in West Columbia.
Oh, okay.
And then my grandmother, she sold hogs, she sold fish, she ironed clothes, she cleaned houses, whatever she could do. And it was always, a bartering system. They took care of each other.
They did. My grandfather built.
If she was living, I believe she'd be 97 now. Yeah. They had a different system, and it didn't make sense to us. But now that we see what we see that's going on in society, we better learn some of that.
Yeah, I think really, honestly, that's probably why I'm so, I ain't gonna say different from people, but that's probably why I don't have a lot of friends. I don't really want to go nowhere. Is because it's like the way I love and the way I care for people, bro. That will get you hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just stay away from folks, like, because I know these people out here ain't really here to. Ain't nobody really here to help you, or they're not really trying to, because they don't know that through helping, that's how we going, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna make you. You cannot make.
It's enough for all of us to eat.
You can't make $1 million by yourself.
You gotta
It's
learn to
enough for us
serve.
all
You know what
to
I'm saying?
eat.
That's the whole point of a company. If we run our community like companies are ran, there's CEO, there's this person, there's this person. Everybody has their own thing. They got people in South Park, they got horses. All right, they got somebody on the north side with tomato patches or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that. You know, and
Darren, you have to understand that this is gonna really affect us catastrophically. Our dollar does not stay in our community at all.
this is true.
So
It lost its value. What, 26% in the last 5 years?
That's the dollar period though. We talking about just
we're
the
talking
black
about
dollar.
in the black community, the
It's
black
even-
dollar
that's
in the
even-
black
Remember
community.
That's even worse.
how they didn't go to Target for one day, then the next 2-3 days they went sold bought Target out. That's what she's talking about.
But
Why would you go to
they
Target?
did numbers though.
But why Target do numbers? Why can't the black people do the numbers? That's
Nah,
what she's
you
saying.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
We have learned also that we won't even shop black.
This is true.
And there's several different reasons
Yeah,
I can say, and it's not all our fault that we won't shop black. Sometimes you give some black owners an opportunity to do something, and they fail tremendously.
Yeah. I think it's because some people try to do it the quick way instead of doing it the right way.
You have to have honesty if you want to.
And that
do
too,
anything.
Man, it's crazy because I was listening to Jay-Z just a few seconds ago. He just was saying that we like crabs in the bucket, when somebody's trying to go up, and he was like, did they not tell you that crab's not supposed to be in the bucket in the first place? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like it was like, yo, that was kind of profound. And then he was saying his goal or what a crab should do is if I'm at the top, just hold on, and we all going, you know what I'm saying? Just make the line down. You pulling me instead of pulling me down, you pull me up. So, but as we in the animal kingdom, man. It's like the ghetto is the ghetto is the zoo. They put all the animals together, man, and they just, not in a bad way saying that we animals, because we're human beings. But what I mean by that is to say, like, if you're not a lion or a lioness, then you a gazelle. You know what I'm saying? It's either get ate.
As I told my daughter today, they're gonna go for the weakest prey, the weakest. So if you look like you're weak and you're not sure about yourself and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, they're gonna target you. And they're not just gonna come and overtake you. They're gonna get your mind. So if they get your mind, they got everything. So you have to understand who you are.
Yeah.
And be strong about it and safeguard your mind so that you don't just be taking everything in that someone says to you, because everyone is not going to pour into you. Some people, they just don't have any positivity in their lives, period. True. So as long as you're doing as bad as I'm doing, I'm good with that. Mm-hmm. So you have to safeguard yourself around who you surround yourself with. Yeah. Birds of a feather flock together. I don't want to be around nobody that's just, I ain't gonna say I can't have or be associated with someone who's not up on top of their stuff right now. But if they're not up on top of their stuff, I need to at least see that they having a plan or they're working toward trying to get up on top of their stuff. Mm-hmm. Don't have a pity party, because pity parties don't help you. Mm-hmm. You got to have a plan. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend used to always tell me, you got 2 minutes to cry. And then that first minute, you sobbing it out. Second minute, you coming up with a plan. Mm-hmm. So you just, this is the dash between your born date and your death date on your headstone. That journey.
I never thought about it like that.
And you have
that line from crazy. I like that. I might take that.
You have to think about it. This is a journey. You don't live in regrets. You live in lessons. I've told you that many a times. Man. You live in lessons, because if it was you was gonna get it right all the time, there wouldn't be a need for these type of discussions.
Right.
And you wouldn't learn anything. Man. And there would not be any need for God.
Man, that's crazy. I'm still stuck on that The dash, that in between that's crazy. I be in my own head. So when you said that, I was thinking about like people. If y'all heard what she said from for example, from 1987, that dash in the middle, we don't know that last date, but use that dash. You should put a pinpoint on every. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
your
Of that
journey.
dash.
We were
You
taught
know what
that
I'm
in
saying?
primary school, a timeline.
That's what I'm. That dash is that timeline.
Yeah.
No matter where you put it. I like that.
And you have to not only you have to examine one of the things that I do. This conversation we're having, I'll still be thinking about it when I'm taking my bath. I'm rolling back over what could I have done better today? What could I have done better for myself so that I can be better tomorrow? We have to start evaluating our actions and asking ourselves, why did we move like that?
This is true.
Is that associated with trauma? Why did I do that? You have to be honest with yourself. Why did I do that? And this is where we are failing the most.
True.
Because we don't want to be accountable for our actions. We're always going to say, well, if such and such hadn't done such and such to me. No.
It's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
No.
They're not in charge of your response.
That's true. You shouldn't let no one else dictate how you respond to anything. I guess I can do that sometimes, but it's just because I'm so passionate about what I be talking about, and I understand what I be talking about. And again, I be understanding different things on a different level. Because when you said timeline, I was like, damn, it's a line right in the middle of two times. See, I be on a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. That was a whole metaphor. If somebody rap that, it'll be crazy. That'd be a crazy line. Don't take her lines now. But we're gonna move on because it's getting kind of late. We're gonna talk about building clientele. Mama did say she is a real estate agent. So tell us how you went about building clientele, or what's the easiest way for you to build new clientele as far as your real estate business?
For me, I have a lot of repeat clients and a lot of word of mouth.
Okay.
I am all about educating the person in the home buying process, or even if they're renting. I am teaching them about credit. I am teaching them about credit card utilization and budgeting and saving some money, especially for those that are planning on going into a home. You need to make sure that you're not house poor. Forget balling out of control in front of your friends. No one is showing up at the first of the month with your mortgage money in a collection
Nobody
plate.
got that 3,500 or that 4,200 but you.
Okay. You need to also make sure that you are have sat down with your significant other or your husband, whatever, your spouse. If you are going to go into this, and you have to understand the process of it, especially on budget. You want to know that you can afford the house on one salary. Sick days will come. Jobs will be lost.
True.
Anything, health falls down.
Yeah.
Make sure that you have also put credit life on your mortgage. So if your spouse dies, your home is paid off.
So I got one quick question. If I was to set up a class and a desk and some chairs in here and people want to come, would you be
Definitely.
Y'all heard that. I don't
Definitely.
know when, but
I
y'all
will
heard
even get
that.
some lenders in here so that they will be able to tell you the benefits of buying a home, because you get to write a portion of that off on your taxes at the end of the year. But a lot of people who've been in apartments don't know that. And they don't know that you make monthly payments on a mortgage versus having to have $120,000 all saved up to buy a house. Some people don't know the process.
And can't you I did a little research on real estate, but can't you let's say I do buy a house and it's 300,000, and 6 years from then it goes up to 400, 500,000. Can I refinance, do a cash out refinance and still stay in my house and do another one, right?
If those interest rates, I'm gonna tell you this. If it makes sense, the math has to do the math.
Of course.
So if the interest rates are much lower than what you went in on, on your mortgage.
So mortgage interest rates can change.
They can change, yes. So
they can go up or down.
But the thing of it is if you purchase a home on a fixed loan, a fixed interest rate, your mortgage is going to stay the same for the many years that you finance it for, either 15 years or 30 years, regardless. Where it goes in. So if you bought your home at just say an 8% mortgage, and now the interest rates for mortgages is 5.
I'm stuck.
You would go and look and see how much of that would make a difference in your loan, and you refinance. If it makes sense, you refinance. You can cash out, refinance, or do whatever you do for loan consolidation, or pay bills off, or
buy another property.
Boom.
That's why I asked that, because that sparked another thing in my brain. Because if the interest rate, let's say I sign for 5 and it goes down to 3.5, I can refinance, cash out, refinance, tell them I want this 3.5. That's gonna make my mortgage cheaper, and I can buy another house.
If you cash out, refinance, you can do a lot. You would know you would have to know the terms of the loan on your refi with the bank, and that's where your lender comes in and educates you about what you can, what your loan terms are, and what you can and can't do with the money. And
that makes sense. A lot of people that I know, that's I see it on the internet, and then I know a few people that be messing with it, but now they never really explained it to me that way. They always say what we said, but they say the basic version of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can cash out, refinance, and get 70%, but they never tell you exactly, like, hey, if you want a fixed rate and it go up to 15, you might fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying? So they never say that. So I'm glad you did say it. So
it's always,
I'm glad you're here tonight.
You always want to be lower than what your interest rate is.
Of course.
You never want to try to refinance or whatever, and it's higher. No, it has to make sense.
Yeah. So
that's
even
like buying a Mitsubishi and paying Maserati price.
Yeah, 25% interest on that joint. No, I get it. Okay, that makes sense. Well, building clientele, fellas. What's the next one? Man, because I don't have you still got the what we usually do right about now. You know, we always lost.
Yeah. We did. We already went right on the street.
Yeah, right on the street, building clientele.
You did your school back to school haircuts, promotion at time to get hair clients in.
True.
Oh, we talking about like on the segments, like we gotta.
Yeah. I'm lost. I ain't gonna lie, because we just went to a whole. I was the first ahead of the curve. Was crazy. Yeah, it's like we really don't even need to.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a special edition. This Mother's Day edition. Happy Mother's Day, Mama Tisby.
Happy Mother's Day, Mama Tisby. Happy Mother's Day, Mama. I know you're gonna. I know you're gonna kill me. I told you was gonna be able to come and sit with me, but me and you, we gonna do something. I swear, because my mom, she like Facebook famous. You know what I'm saying? She want to show her son off. I love you too, baby. That's my baby right there, man. I ain't gonna lie. That's she get on my nerves. Matter of fact, I had to just go to the store for it. Yeah. Mama, if we hit tonight, baby, we gonna be rich. I'm rich, right? Look at that.
Yeah, we dedicating this to the mothers, y'all.
This your Mother's Day gift.
You have to understand, regardless of what your relationship was with your mother, regardless. It may have been a great relationship, and it may not have been the best relationship. Might not have been any relationship at all. The fact is that she had you and you're here.
Yeah.
So if there's any ill will or any trauma from that relationship, you old enough to go get you some counseling.
Oh yeah,
work through it.
Me and my T Jones, we got a special bond now, because like it's more of like when she called me, if she called me and her name pop up, she know, like, I know what she calling me for, so I'm gonna call her back. So what she does, she'll call me on like my auntie phone, because I know, like, my auntie calling me is something important. So today she hit me with that, right? She called. I think she called me. I ain't answer the phone. I looked back at it. I was like, man, I'm gonna call her back in a minute. But I just so happened to have my phone in my hand and my auntie called. I'm like, damn, like Pam called. It's something important. What's up? She, damn, what's up, mama? Damn. Go to the store and get my lotto tickets, baby. All right, whatever. I got you. I ain't doing no tripping. So yeah, but me and my mom's is again. The reason why I used when I was a kid or when I was younger, I used to kind of not resent her, but I didn't understand
why she did what
why
she
was
did.
she, you know what I'm saying? But as I got older and I started to see and understand, like, hey, you the one, bro. You the not the last hope, but you know what I'm saying? You the one that's gonna hold it together.
You saw the sacrifices
You know what I'm
she
saying?
made.
Yeah. So it made me be like, okay, yeah, I am the one that's gonna hold it.
And you're appreciative now.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. My mama can ask me for anything if I got it. If I ain't got it, she know I'm gonna say no. But if I got it, she can have it. Yeah. So that's my baby. I ain't gonna even stunt. That's my dog right there. She gonna that's my people for real.
I want to hype it up about my relationship with my kids. I'll let King speak on that because in my head I don't know if I can be biased about it.
I mean, hey man, one thing about us boys, man, we love our mamas, and you got 7 of them, so I know for sure you. If one of them ain't got it, somebody got it.
Well, what I would say, just from dealing with your boys, you know how them older ones, they already feel about you. They feel like, you was more stern back then, and then it's like now you done got weak on the younger ones.
For sure.
But I don't know.
But I will say this. You got to understand, I was raised under that old rule.
Yeah.
So as I got older, after the eldest 4 are grown, and now I got the 3 teenagers and the girl, I will say that you know better, you do better.
Nah, for real. I get
because when it was coming up, I remember when my eldest would ask me a question, I'd be like, boy, don't worry about that. That ain't your business. Don't worry about that. Well, I understand now that they have to understand it. So that same cycle of trauma won't keep going. I got to be able to explain it to them so that they can explain it to their kids.
That's good.
Yeah, I get that for sure.
Good.
So
I mean, my little sister is 22. My little brother's 27. So when I was 15 years old, I'm so much older than them. It's like, my mom's was hard on me. I ain't gonna say she was too hard on my little brother and sister. Well, she was definitely hard on my little bro because my little bro was, when he was younger, he used to be some dumb crap. But she ain't have to be too hard on him because I was there. I was there. Like, bro, what you doing? Then my dad too. So he turned out pretty well. My little sister, she's gonna get ready to graduate from college, so she turned out pretty well. But my baby sister got my mama wrapped around her finger for sure. She may not think so, because my mama, she thinks she in control, but hey man, I be watching, I be like, damn, well, I wish I could have got away with that shit. For real. I be looking like, damn. When I got my first car was a hand-me-down. My baby sister's first car, we went to the lot. You feel me? Like,
times have changed.
That's I ain't mad at it. I'm happy for it. But
the thing of it is so when I had my eldest boys, I hadn't went to college. I hadn't been able to secure the spot where I am now.
Yeah. True.
So my younger children have been able to enjoy the fruits of my labor.
True. And I understand
that. The older ones grew up with you.
My older ones, I still did a lot of things. Like, I still made sure that I would take them around the world and travel and introduce them to other cultures and things like that.
I didn't been.
But a lot of people, my kids' age, and like I said, my eldest is 33. Friends have never been able to experience those things.
Again, that's probably why I don't. Me and my mom, why I'm so cool. Like, my mom is mom's. That's baby. Because again, I've been to Disneyland when I was in diapers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got pictures of me at Disneyland. I was in Reno when I was a kid. Nevada, man, I done been all types of places. So, again, it may have not. The love is it looks different. It's the same, but it just looks different. You know what I'm saying? Because again, my mom's a little older now. She ain't trying to, she don't really want to go nowhere too much with the kids because all of us is grown now. You know what I'm saying? But we do cruises though. She makes sure that
I
all
love
of
a
us go.
cruise.
She
I
makes
love
sure that we
traveling.
all go on that cruise. She does not play about that cruise. And she honestly, see, I'm her oldest. Well, yeah, I'm her oldest son, so I know her attitude. I know what she. So when we told her we wasn't going on a cruise, she was pretending like she wasn't mad, but I seen how upset she was, and I was like, "Mom, I'm gonna go. If you gonna go, I'm gonna go." Little bro and sister ain't happy. They like, "No, we ain't going." But I'm trying to, as a big brother right now, I'm trying to get them to understand. Like,
That
hey,
these are times that we need to cherish.
She's gonna be 60.
Always
Better
say,
cherish them.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
tomorrow's not promised. We need to, not even just for her, for the young ones. We have to make these memories. I saw something my cousin sent me something today, and it was about a family that had a birthday party at Popeyes. And I said, she was like, but Popeyes? And I said, they all together, they're celebrating, and they're not at a funeral.
Nah,
they're celebrating.
When we was coming up though, bro, we had pizza parties at Pizza Hut
and
Chuck E.
Pizza Inn.
You feel me? So
Yeah, and Pizza Inn too. Yeah,
it's about
Mr. Gaddy.
It's about the family.
it's about the memories.
That memory being together. I wouldn't care. We could be at the park with some sandwiches. As long as we're together, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And like you said, your mom felt disappointed about y'all not going on a cruise. Last Sunday, my son was here, and he was disappointed that I didn't want to get up and go to the Nike warehouse and all the different places, and he just wanted us all together. That's he just wanted us together, and we make it a point to be together. We've already planned our next togetherness.
I ain't gonna lie, I may not show it all the time, but that's really it's like my plan, and I tell people this all the time. I want to buy 100 acres, and I want to build a family compound. And if you decide to stay there, that's cool. If you don't decide to stay there, that's cool too. But I want it to be big enough to where everybody got their own space.
Have you seen the 40-acre project?
I can't afford it right now. Though.
No. There's a gentleman. He is teaching you how to buy land. It's called 40-acre Comeback, and I found him on Facebook, and he's teaching you how to get land without capital.
Yeah. There's a way you can do that.
And he is teaching how to, I don't know how all the details, but how to set your community up.
Don't you have to form that land or something like that if you get it?
Some of it is formed, but I don't know the logistics of how they do it. But I do know that they do have a loan for the USDA agriculture loan. If you are interested in that, you can always go online and look that up for your state. I know here, I think it's Texas A&M for us for the USDA loan for us. But you can always Google how to attain that land.
Do they give you the loan for the land and the home, or just the land?
You can, if you are having it for the form, if you are setting up for certain things like there was a couple that I was assisting, and they were going to do cows. So they give you enough. You get qualified for the land. They give you enough for the land, the home, the farming equipment, and the cows. You will be able to go and get your things. But again, I'm not the money lady. But I do know that you can contact a lender regarding that.
Since I have a felony, I wonder what that would matter.
I don't think a felony makes a difference when it comes to a loan application for property, unless they have it stipulation in there for a grant. Now if it's a grant, there's a difference. A grant is something you get for free and don't pay back. Mm-hmm. However, a loan is something that you pay back. Now they may have a forgiveness, but I don't believe when they set certain standards for those types of loans that they don't uh, include that a felon can't get it. Um,
I heard if you're trying to buy a house with an HOA, you can't stay there.
no, that's not true.
That's what I heard. Okay,
That's not true.
I did hear that. Yeah, but I've been. It's this little housing kind of thing I've been looking at called barn dominiums.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
you
that's
showing me.
One of them joints.
yes.
They got basketball.
That's what my
court in that
son
joint.
turned
One
me
of them
on to.
joints, bro. I gotta have me one of them, bro. All of that big rolls, all of that extra crap that I used to want in River Oaks. No, I want one of them barn dominiums, bro. When I tell you, it's like they build you a 10,000 square foot barn. Uh, 2,000 to 3,000 square feet of it is your home, and the rest of it is whatever you want.
Well, it all depends on
Gym,
your plan because you can
basketball
have it
court,
as a shop. This is where I was talking about
shop.
the vertical farming that I want to do. So the house could be 5,000 square feet. I might have 2,000 of that 5,000 square feet just in my shop, and it's connected, so you don't have to walk out. Sometimes people do it with the stables. They can have the stables in that other area and then the other house, so you don't never have to leave the house to go to that area. You can walk right on through, and then you can have it as a.
I'll show you.
I have some barndominium because that's what I'm trying to build.
I want to buy one
on a
but
plan.
I know they cost probably a big M though.
No,
no,
they don't.
The ones I see,
They are much cheaper. A barndominium is much cheaper than a traditional house because you are using a shell.
Bro, look at this, bro.
So
You showed me. You don't remember? You were showing me.
so you're gonna get the shell, Darren. A shell.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna get a fabricated metal building, and then they will take it from there. It is a big significant cost that's difference in traditional versus barndominium. The most important thing is your barndominium. Now land is so expensive. That's the hardest to find. But in the same token, once you get your property surveyed or whatever and make sure you have all your utility lines, once they come in and put those different beams or piers down and put your slab, then they can just start fabricating.
See, and that's what I wouldn't know because you were saying about the agricultural loan. If they gonna pay for the land, the home,
you can roll all of that into one.
Can I buy one of them with it though?
Yes, you can.
Oh yeah, we gonna.
They have lenders that will qualify you for barndominium purchases.
Next summer, I want one from them though. The barndominium company. Oh my god.
You just do your research. You make sure you do your research on your companies, and then you always go in and do a consultation. Because you need to see and you need to have reviews from prior clients that they've done, because barndominiums being so technically they're not new, but being the new hot thing.
There's a new hot thing. No one really knew about.
Some companies have messed over a few people. So you always have to know what company you're dealing with when it comes to those custom type builders.
And that right there is ahead of the curve on cool, because that barndominiums, man. Hey, y'all look at black folk. We talk about community. We talk about community. We need to buy. All of us come together, buy 1,000 acres, and put barndominiums on them. I'm telling you, you would never have to leave, because you can put a bowling alley in there. We'll have our own thing.
You have everything.
Like, you don't need nobody else.
And another hot thing is the new container homes and modular homes.
The modular homes.
The container homes are just those big shipping containers that they bring in and they stack them on top of each other, and then they weld them and do the blueprint, and then they put the foam in and insulation and everything, and it's coming out cheaper also.
Remember we talked about the black lady. Remember she's the first black lady to own a modular home company.
Oh yeah.
We talked about that a few episodes ago. I forgot her name. Dr. Something. I forgot her name. Please, if y'all know who I'm talking about, y'all let us know. follow, share, like, comment, subscribe for sure. But I forgot her name. But them barndominiums, the modular homes, the duplexes, we just as a community, because y'all see what they doing in South Park and in Sunnyside. They buying it up right now, and y'all and everybody is still renting. And it's like, yo, they buying all this up. And once they buy it all up, they're gonna jack the rent up because they changed the name of Sunnyside. Sunnyside is called the Southern Medical Center now.
That's right. It's called
It is?
part of the medical center. That's right.
It is not Sunnyside anymore.
That's
so that
right.
ghetto neighborhood that used to be Sunnyside is not anymore. That's why it's so beautified. It is the South.
It's been gentrified
It's
completely.
Southern Medical Center. And you know who buying it all up? It ain't white folks.
The Asians.
It's Hispanics and Asians. So if you live in Sunnyside and you got some money, man, buy your land or start buying these duplexes that we see.
And if you have some land in Sunnyside and own property, protest your taxes, because you should, protest them, because the value will go up with them building newer homes and selling newer homes in your area.
That is gonna make your land
and make sure that you don't sell. It used to be a slogan about Third Ward. Third Ward, Texas is not for sale. Don't sell. Do not sell your property.
They finna get rid of the cutie harm too.
Yeah, I heard that they were going to.
They're gonna make it a part of TSU or something like that. They probably gonna put something there for them. But don't sell in Sunnyside. Just cash. You know what? That's crazy how much game we just gave in this little 45, 50 minutes. You see what we just did? Because of the people are buying up all the homes and building in Sunnyside, that made your land value and your property go up. Go cash out, refinance, and redo your own house.
Fix it up.
Then you can rent it out. If you want to move, you can move, but always have that property in that land.
And always, whatever you do, plan for the afterlife. When you have these properties, go and make sure that you have something on paper and it's been recorded as a will, so that you can make sure that your family is getting your property. And you won't have to stay all up in probate court.
That's what I was just going to say. You don't have to go to probate court. Because I was trying to do wholesaling, and I found a bunch of houses, but all of them was in probate court. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do all that. So, man, this was a very. I'm glad you did stop by. This was a surprise too. She has been saying she was gonna come on here for a while, and we just.
I got some more topics. Yeah. I'm seeking a degree in some mental health. So this is my passion. This is my passion for the Black community to be healed.
So we're gonna be calling you a doctor in a minute.
Well, I'ma always be Mama Tisby.
Okay. Dr. Mama Tisby, goddamn. Yeah. If y'all need any in-house psychology or anything like that, you want to have a conversation, you know where to come to, man.
And I will be soon podcasting on my own link, and I will be up under the handle I Be a Mother Tufting. So I'll be doing tufting rugs, homemade rugs and designs, but I also will be including some hot topics, mental health topics, while I am making my rugs, because my thing is, if I can make a difference in one person's life to help them, I've changed the world, and I want to make sure that I'm,
That's you have a deep thought, because that one person can change another person.
Pass it on.
And I, as I'm getting older, being 37, turning 38, I've been thinking about my legacy, and I don't, because I don't have any children, but I be saying all the time, like, this channel or whatever, this show, this is my legacy. You know what I'm saying? And wherever it goes, that's where it goes. And I want these guys, my guys, to be able to say that they was a part of that shit, a part of this too. Like, yo, this is our legacy right here. This ain't just about money. This ain't about nothing. This is about pure information, trying to save the youth, and just talk out our problems and introduce y'all to people that you may seen in the street, and people that you need to know that you didn't know that you need to know. And this is Barber Talk Worldwide. You know how we do it. you got any closing words, or do you have any closing words for the night?
Give it to the mother. It's Mother's Day weekend.
Again, happy Mother's Day, Mama. I love you. I'm sorry. Don't kill it.
All I can say is, as a community, we just have to be better. Just be better. You can't argue with love, but we have to understand that everybody's definition of love is not the same. So we have to always act in the best interest of doing the right thing and loving the way Christ loved us. So going forward, all we can do is hold each other accountable, love on one another, build one another, don't tear each other down, stop the violence in our communities, and stop the hate.
Don't be a hater. Be a congratulator. And men and women. Don't stay where you tolerate it. Stay where you love.
Exactly. And remember, your children are looking.
And this is Barbers Talk Worldwide.
Goddamn right. Right here at Royal King Cuts, 8951 Ruby Street, Houston, Texas, 77061. I'm the man with
Come
the
get your
plan.
cut.
I'm the man with the plan. D the Barber AK Cuts Unlimited. I got my co-host to my left.
Royal King Cuts LLC.
And to my far left, the beautiful, incomparable Mrs.
Mama TSB.
You know what it is, baby. Like, comment, subscribe. This is Barbers Talk Worldwide. We out. We love y'all. Thank you for coming and watching. Thank you for attending.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. She gonna be back.
I will come back.
For sure. Anytime she got something to talk about, she gonna get on y'all ass.
Y'all booked them appointment. Y'all see how I got her?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, that is
Fresh.
crispy.
Fresh fade.
That is crispy as hell. I was looking at it, I couldn't even.
As my daughter say, oh, I've never had it this crispy before.
Nah, for real.
Yeah.
All right, man. We out.